channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Carly and I am a mama of 2 little girls, and I'm married to my high school sweetheart. I just recently started YouTube and I upload motherhood, lifestyle content, as well as cleaning motivation and vlogs. I am doing a collab video today with 4 of my very best friends that I met all on social media pretty much, and they all do YouTube as well, and they are all mamas, and they are all military spouses, and I was a military spouse. My husband actually got out of the Army last year, so we are doing a Q&A today. Their names are Shelby, Autumn, Alexis, and Ashley, and I'm going to leave all of their stuff linked in my description because you guys are going to absolutely adore them just as much as I do. I want to thank Ashley for putting this whole collab together. She is awesome, and you guys should definitely go check all of those ladies out. So, we are actually doing a Q&A today. We asked all of you on our Instagrams, which I will link right here, to ask us questions like military life related, motherhood related, makeup, literally anything we asked you to ask us. And we compiled all of our questions together and picked our favorites. So we're all going to answer the same questions, and you guys can like compare all of our answers. They are all uploading their video at the same time as me, so please go check out their videos. But yeah, let's get started. Also, it is, I'm refilming this video because I was editing the other one and it just wasn't working out. So I'm refilming it and it is like 9 o'clock. Okay, first question is pros and cons of every base that you've lived on. So we have only lived on 2 different bases. We were stationed at Fort Wainwright in Alaska, and I would say the pros of that base is that it's beautiful out there. It's Alaska, and it's a very small base, and almost all of the housing is new now. But the con of when we lived there is we actually lived in one of the oldest apartments left on the base, and they were tearing down all of the old ones around us and building new ones. But our apartment building was too occupied, so they had to wait until all of us moved out before they could tear it down and build new ones. So that would probably be the con. And also, but I really think that's just about it. Like, it's a really small base, so if you're not into that, it's not that great, but their PX and commissary were still amazing. So our other base that we lived at was in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. We lived on the Tennessee side, Clarksville, Tennessee, because Fort Campbell is actually like in Kentucky and Tennessee. We lived on the Tennessee side, but we also didn't live on base. We lived about 10 minutes off the back gate, off gate 10. So I really loved that base because they had the most incredible parks, and 2 of their parks had Starbucks like on them. So that's amazing. They had great walking trails, and that's actually where I met Shelby, who is one of the mamas doing this video. So yes, I loved Fort Campbell. The only thing so I guess the con to that wouldn't necessarily be the base itself, but would be Clarksville and like Oak Grove, Kentucky, which are the 2 towns that Fort Campbell is like in, and it's crime, I guess. It's not like the best area. It's just like a ton of different people in one city or in like 2 tiny towns, and I don't know. I just feel like there was a lot of sketchy parts of town. Next question is, how are you able to stay at home? My husband works very, very hard to provide for us, and being in the military, I was able to stay at home because he was in the military, and then once he got out, I also was able to stay at home because he worked very hard and he traveled a bunch for work, and now he's actually in the fire academy training to be a firefighter, and he works part-time night shift. So he's just an extremely hard worker. I also do work 2 to 3 days a week, but it's only a couple hours. So I would still basically call myself a stay-at-home mom because I don't work that often. But yeah, my husband just works really hard, and I'm very thankful and proud of him. this person said their husband is leaving for basic. Any tips? I have a 3-year-old boy and a 3-month-old little boy. So my heart goes out to you, Mama. It is so hard when they leave for basic. Unfortunately, I don't have a ton of advice for basic with kids, because when Wayne left for basic, I was still in high school. He's 2 years older than me. And so we didn't have kids yet, obviously. But when Wayne would leave for like training and stuff after I had Charlotte, my biggest advice would be to keep yourself busy with them, or else it's gonna just take forever. Like, that time is gonna drag on. I would always try to set up play dates and stuff like that, and have friends over for dinner, because if not, I just feel like the days drag on. Next question is, when stationed away from family, how hard do you find it to socialize? And so I was not really sure if you mean like socialize with your family back home or socialize with like the new people around you, so I'll just answer both. I think it's a two-way street when it comes to socializing with family back home. You can only do so much to stay in contact with everyone. They've got to like be on the other end of it, you know, like reaching out to you and seeing how you're doing and everything. And so it can be difficult because not everyone likes to talk on the phone and stuff like that. And then as far as socializing like around like new areas, the military does have a lot of like family oriented things. Like for Halloween, they have like trunk or treat, and you'll meet the other families in your husband or wife's unit and stuff. But I am like not less social, because I can have a conversation with anyone, but Wayne is he's a social butterfly. Like, he doesn't know a stranger, and yeah, so he is really helpful with starting conversations and meeting people, I guess. And so I found it difficult for sure, but it gets easier as you get more used to being a military family, because it's what you're accustomed to. You're used to meeting new people. Okay, next question is go-to Subway order. I don't really go to Subway anymore. When we lived on the bases, we did, because a Subway is on like literally every military base, so is a Popeyes and a Burger King for some reason. But when I do like get a sub, I get an Italian BMT basically every time on flatbread. Where do I shop for my kids' clothes? I try my hardest to shop secondhand for them. So Once Upon a Child is my like go-to, but I love Target and Old Navy as well. And like small shops on Instagram and little things like that. My favorite part of every place I have lived. So Ohio, my favorite part is my family, obviously, and like just the country farm life. Alaska, my favorite part was the mountains and hiking. Tennessee, my favorite part would probably be like the fall weather, because they do have like a longer fall, or at least they did when we were there. And Florida, I just love everything about Florida, but our home and our how close we are, like to be able to go to the beach and stuff. Next question is, how did you choose your kids' names? Charlotte's name was super easy. Her first name, we just loved her name, and then her middle name, Josephine, is a family name. It is my great-grandmother's name, so her great-great-grandmother's name, and she was named like when we went in to find out that she was a girl. Zoe's name was a little more difficult. It doesn't have like, I don't want to say it doesn't have a special meaning, because it does. My mom always loved the name, and she basically named Zoe. We were going to name her Evelyn and call her Evie, and then after calling her for that for a couple weeks, like when I was pregnant for her, it just didn't fit. So then when I was in like 20 something weeks pregnant, like almost to my 3rd trimester, we were trying to think of a name, and my mom said Zoe Abigail, and it just really stuck to Wayne, and then we called her that for a while, and we were both so obsessed, and it fits her so well. Your husband is in the military. It's an easy job and makes a lot of money, right? Are you guys rich? So this one makes me laugh, because no, we're not rich because we're in the military. And no, it's not easy. Like, so when my husband was in the military, he was an EOD tech, which means he was a bomb technician. So no, that's an incredibly difficult job. And no, you don't make a lot of money. You make good, like you make stable pay, and that's great, but it's not like you're just like swimming in money. So does the military pay for everything? You get insurance and you get dental and your BAH for your housing allowance and stuff like that. So yeah, they do pay for quite a bit, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it covers everything. You get your base pay and then you get your different things on top of that. So yes, you get stable pay, but they don't necessarily pay for everything. Don't you feel like this is hard on your kids? Moving all the time, no friends, changing schools, and no stability, etc. So my kids aren't in school yet, but I do think it's hard on them when we were leaving family again, because after Wayne got out of the military, we lived in Ohio for almost a year before we moved here to Florida. And the girls got very attached, like they were already attached to my family, obviously, but they got very attached to my dad and my stepmom in particular, because we lived with them for a few months. So it was very hard, and Charlotte always asked to go to my mom and papa's house and see the pigs and see the cows and everything, because they live on a little farm, and we miss them so much, and the girls miss them so much, obviously, but they are getting so cultured and they're having so many new experiences and adventures, and I think it's worth it. Also, they're not in school yet, so I'm sure once they were in school and they were older and making like good friends, it would be a lot harder to move all the time. But right now, like, we don't plan on moving again because he's out. So once they're like in school and everything, they won't have to deal with that, you know. How do you do it all alone for such long periods of time when your husband's gone? It is so hard, and even after Wayne got out of the military, his job caused him to travel all the time because he worked out of town. So I'm pretty used to it, and I think that's a big thing. Routine got me and the girls through our days, like having a routine and just making sure that we kept busy, because when we would have lazy days and stuff, it was nice, but it was definitely harder because the girls just strive on routine and they miss their daddy. So when he's not home and like they don't have anything else to do, if we're not like occupying their minds and keeping their minds busy, they would always like act out more because Wayne wasn't home. So routine is like my biggest advice, is to have a good routine. Okay. What is your favorite meal? Pretty much any pasta ever. Does being a stay-at-home mom get lonely? Yes, it does. And now that I have a job, it's not as bad. And I also have all of these ladies that I talk to on a day-to-day basis. And so I would definitely just recommend finding someone that you can talk to. Obviously, you can talk to your husband, I hope. Like, you should be able to talk to your husband. But yeah, like, if you are at home all day with these little kids, it's nice to have another adult to talk to. So yes, it does, but it's so worth it. How has your relationship with your husband changed after having kids? I think it has changed for the better. Obviously, we've went through rough patches because you're learning and growing and becoming a parent, and you don't know how you're going to be as a parent before you have kids. So I think it definitely changes, and how it changes is totally up to you. You have to learn how to parent together and compromise even more as a couple and everything, because your parenting styles have to mesh. Okay, so what is something that most people don't know about me? I really like to watch those chiropractor videos on YouTube. I don't know if any of you have watched them. If you don't, go check them out. Like, go look at them because they're so satisfying. Some of them are really weird, but there's like, I just want to like go out to all those people and have them crack my back and fix me. And I don't know, they're just like, I can get Wayne to watch them too because they're so satisfying, and I don't know why, but I like to watch those chiropractor videos. Yeah. So next question is, what is your favorite thing and least favorite thing about being a military spouse? So when Wayne was in the military, my favorite thing would probably be the stability of being in the military, and in Wayne's unit anyways, because EOD is like a really small MOS, so it was really family oriented, especially when we lived in Alaska, because it was such a small base. And then when we moved to Tennessee, they had so much fun stuff for the kids all the time, like trunk or treats and different stuff like that. So yeah, I miss that. But my least favorite thing would be like Wayne leaving all the time, obviously, like having your husband have to leave for training and deployments and stuff like that. That would be my least favorite. So next question is, go to Starbucks order. I have a few different ones, but like my all-time favorite is a matcha frappuccino with coconut milk and sugar-free vanilla instead of classic, and you can get it with or without whipped cream. It doesn't come with whipped cream, I don't think, or no, it does. But if you get whipped cream, it kind of tastes like cotton candy. It's so good. It's like a green tea frappuccino. How long have you been doing YouTube? Just over a month, I think. Your number one tip and advice to starting your own YouTube channel? Well, all of these ladies really encouraged me to start my own channel, so that was super helpful. I was very nervous, and I was super nervous that people would like think it's weird or judge me, and so my advice would just be, don't care what people think and just do it for you. What would you be doing if your husband wasn't in the military? Well, he's not anymore, so this, I would hope, but if he never joined the military, I would hope that we would have still moved out of the state and traveled a little bit and started a family. But yeah, he's not in the military anymore. He is out, and we are living in Florida. How many kids do you and your spouse want? So this is a good question to kind of like close out this Q&A, because I don't think I have said it on here yet, but Wayne and I are going to have a third kid, and I am so excited, and we don't know when yet. It's probably not going to be until he graduates. We're not going to start trying or anything until he graduates the fire academy, but yes, we are going to have a third kid, and after our third baby, we will see how we feel. If we are blessed with a third baby, I really hope we are. But if we're not, we are very, very grateful for our two sweet baby girls. So that is all of the questions, and thank you guys so much for asking them all. I'm super excited to do this collab with these ladies. Please go check them out. You are going to love them. Give them all the love on all their videos. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more from me, stick around and subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.